Hey, thank you for being here. This video is about mixing your effects on sends and returns, and there's a lot of good reasons to do that. I'm going to show you all of them. This video is in response to a comment I got on my video about mixing delay, and it said, could you please explain how you mix with sends and returns? So that's what we're here to do. Thank you so much for that comment. Let's dive in. Okay, so in this project, I've got two vocals that I want you to focus on here. This blue one is the exact same vocal actually as this pink one. The only difference is this pink one has all of my plugins from my mix on it, and this blue one doesn't. We're going to kind of contrast the two here. So the kind of easy way to do this, if you wanted to put a reverb on a vocal, is you would just select one of these plugin slots, and let's type in a reverb that I like to use. We're going to go EMT 140, and you burn a plugin slot here, and you play back the vocal, and you just kind of turn up the dry wet knob to get more or less reverb. Great. That presents us with two key problems that we're going to fix with the send and return strategy. The first is, if you go back to this pink vocal here, the one that I've already mixed, I've actually burned out, because I'm being greedy, all of my plugin slots. So I don't have any more space for effects. And if you go down here to this section here, these are my sends. And I'm going to explain what that means in a second. I'm actually using 4 different effects on this vocal. So if I wanted to insert all 4 of those effects on this vocal, one at a time using a plugin, I would have to burn 4 plugin slots, and I don't want to do that. So let's get into the technical nitty-gritty of this. The way a send and return works, it's kind of in 2 stages. What a send is, and I'm just going to open up this 15 IPS. So this fader here controls what is the send off of my vocal track. And as far as I'm aware, by the way, all DAWs do this. It's definitely available in Ableton, it's available in Cubase, it's available in Pro Tools, it's available in Reaper, it's available in Studio One. Pretty much everything that I can think of, you'll be able to do this. But the way this works is, what I'm telling Pro Tools to do is I want to take the vocal information, the audio information on this vocal, and I want to send it over to this track here. And this track I've labeled 15 inches per second, or 15 IPS. And so what I'm doing is I'm basically splitting the signal off, and I have the signal on the fader here, and then I'm also sending the signal over to this track called 15 IPS. And that's called a send. And what happens on that 15 IPS track is I have a delay inserted on that track, and it is a 15 inches per second tape delay. So the way this now works is, if I were to solo this vocal and turn the send all the way down, so this is my 15 IPS send, I'm going to turn it all the way down, it's going to be entirely dry. Right. But as I turn up this fader, what I'm doing is I'm sending more and more of the signal to the track that has the delay on it. And pay attention down here. This is my return track, the 15 IPS return track. So it just gets the vocal into the delay, and then it returns on this channel here. So I could turn down the return and get less delay, or I could turn down the send and get less delay. So the first problem this solves is it allows me to not burn a plugin spot on my track, which allows me to mix with more plugins if I need to. The second problem it solves, and you can notice it on these subsequent vocals behind it, I have the same 15-inch tape delay on the next vocal, and the same tape delay on the next vocal, and the same tape delay on the next vocal, and it's only being processed by one plugin. All I'm doing is I'm taking all of these tracks here and sending them all to the same return channel with this delay inserted on it, and they're all being processed simultaneously by one plugin, as opposed to having a reverb that we have to, or a delay that we have to copy across all of my channels to get the same effect. So you're using less computing power as well. That's the second thing you solve. You can send as many signal sources as you want to the same effect, and you're only processing it with one plugin as opposed to many plugins. So that's problem 2 we've solved. The next thing that mixing with sends and returns allows you to do is it allows you to effect the effect after it's generated. Bear with me. So let's open up the EMT 140 that we were using earlier, but I'm opening up the send channel I have built for it now, not the plugin itself. So in the same way, I'm taking this source signal and I'm sending it across to this channel. You can see in my IO patch here, that's how I'm doing it. I have a bus set up that I just called 140. And so by selecting the 140 bus here, I'm telling Pro Tools to send it to this channel. So the signal path is it leaves this channel here and goes across to this channel and hits this reverb. Okay. So as I push this effect in, we're going to hear more and more reverb. We can see that the return is lighting up with signal as well. Now, what I mean by putting an effect behind the effect, on this particular channel, I've inserted an EQ behind the reverb. So I am EQing not the vocal, but just the sound of the reverb. I do this all the time. And the reason I do this all the time is a lot of effects kind of muddy up your mix if you're not careful, and they can kind of run away on you if you're not paying attention. So in this particular case, with this particular reverb, I've kind of decided that this frequency range around 120 isn't that pleasing in this reverb sound, but I like the sound of the reverb overall. So I've EQ'd out some of the 120 hertz range on just the reverb. Again, it's not the vocal that's being EQ'd, it's just the sound of the reverb. So I'll turn that up. It's all that thick stuff there that I'm thinning out. So to recap, when you mix on sends and returns, there's three main things that you solve. One, you're not going to burn plugin space on your channel. Two, you can send multiple source signals to one effect and not have to open that same effect on multiple channels, which saves you on computing power. And three, it gives you the flexibility and the creative freedom to modify the sound of the effect itself without modifying the way that you've mixed the source signal. Those are the three main reasons I mix on sends and returns when it comes to effects, and I think you should do the same. So let me know if this was helpful for you, and thanks again for being here.